You are not in business, you are in activities. Tell somebody you are in activities. Do you want to continue in activities? So activities and business, they are not the same thing. You need to understand all this before you go in. So the entrepreneur is not a big man. The entrepreneur is that simplest person. In the day, in the night, his brain is working on how best to organize and reorganize the business such that profit can come. Let's go. Move to the next one. All I've said there, all I've just said in the production function is to tell you all I've just explained. Production function there, all is talking about your input versus your output. The ratio of your input determines the output that it's going to bring. I've just given the example of the chin-chin woman. Madam, you left. Your chin-chin. You are starting the first batch, 10 workers. Of all your sisters and brothers and this, because your chin-chin is sweet. Instead of you to start with one person first and ask other, wait. When the chin-chin is increasing, I'm getting more market. If I now need the second person, I will bring it in. But because they have hailed you more than who you are, they come and see the shop and the business. Oh, it's languishing. It has arrived. It's a rich person. And so in that shame too, you don't want to tell them, I'm not a rich person. You bring. We will manage. We will manage. And you are loading labor. More than the capital. More than the production. You now see, in terms of input to output, those 10 workers will not be able to produce what you require because you don't even have enough money to buy raw materials that will engage the 10. And so what do you see? They come every day, they are looking. 2-3 hours, they are on their TikTok. They are on their phone. They are gisting, but they are counting the hours on your neck. So production function tells you your input must vary with your output. And that is why you see, that's the area we make mistake in Nigeria. Abroad, they don't do that. What they do in abroad, if they need you for 2 hours, you come for the 2 hours. And the 2 hours, your phone is switched off. What your deliverable for the 2 hours has been measured. And as you meet it, off you go. And that person takes over. But in Nigeria, what do we do? The 8 hours, 4 hours out of it is to gist. If we try and use the 4 to even work, we are lucky. And yet, when we come, it's either we come and say the output, our salary is not justifying the output, when our input is not moving in the direction of the output. So if you're a businessman, you are a small one kind of a thing, you must take note of these small things. When you are not aware of them, they kill the bigger ones. They destroy the bigger things before you know it. Go. Move forward. Next. Yes, all I've said here, raising capital. This is always a problem to everybody in Nigeria and to everywhere. Do you know why? Do you know why it's a problem? Issue of integrity. Issue of what? Integrity. Our system is not foolproof. Our system as a whole, as a nation, is leaking. We are not connected to one another. And so, anybody can break the chain, and the chain will still be dangling. Whereas in other climes, you are all connected. You are connected from your receivables to your payables, to your loans, to your bank, to your everything. That circle must complete. Nobody must break it. Nobody. Anybody that breaks it, jail. Because they know the implication. So what do you see with us here? Banks will never finance startups. You know what is called startups? A beginner. They can tell you all lies. When we finance it, it's a lie. They will only waste your energy. They will not finance startup. And the reason for that is that they are telling you who will carry the risk when you don't return their money. That you don't have history at your back that they can look into. You are just a starter. You are going to gamble. So they don't have money that they can give to you to go and do what? To gamble. So once you understand that here in our country, that banks will not support startups, what do? So you look for alternatives. Except if you're already in a small business. You're already doing it. There are records. There are things you are seeing. You now need to expand. Let me quickly tell you about money and going to the bank. Bankers will tell you, we don't know your business. We have money. We are looking for somebody who will use the money we have to do his business and pay us for our money. That if we know your business, we will not give you money. We'll go and do your business. You know what that means? That means you know about your business. You have done your calculation very well. That you are already making profit now, 1 naira before. You are seeing opportunity of raising that 1 naira to 5 naira. But you don't have the capital to move it from 1 naira to 5 naira. When you go to them, that is the money they are giving to you. So that when you get that 5 naira, you give them 1 naira back out of it. Then 3 naira or 4 naira will still be left for you. But that's not what we are doing. We take bank loan not to go and do expansion. We take bank loan to go and start a business. That is still going to suffer risk. It's still going to suffer a lot of teething problems in its gestation period before it can survive. And so, from day one, you are in trouble. High blood pressure. Start coming. But if it is an existing business, you are calculative. You want to increase more. So it goes for it, and you are able to pay back. So what I've said here is to say, consider the amount of capital you require. Shinshin woman will be different from akara. Will be different from canteen. Will be different from water. Will be different from, who is there again? Bread. Thank you for answering bread. Let me quickly tell you here that in food business, hear this and write it down. Food business is a low margin business. Food business is a low margin business. But it is a cash involving business. So when you go into food business, you must be going to food business with 2 understanding. The margin you will make is small. Why? Why is the margin always small? It is small because food is close to necessity. And any necessity product cannot be priced like a luxury. Am I talking to somebody? Any necessity is natural. The nature, the everything. When something becomes a necessity, you cannot price it anyhow. But what you need to understand is that you will see a sale. I don't want to go too high. You will see a sale of 10 naira. Total sales you have sold. The profit on that 10 naira is 1 naira. What does it tell you? 1 naira over 10 naira. It means the other 9 naira has gone out. So what do you need to do? It is to say, the 10 naira that comes as cash, how can I invest the remaining 9 naira into another cash something and make money and add to that margin and diversify a little bit? Do you hear what I've said? Take the cash and sell it to the bank. The banks are after the cash to buy. The finance houses are after the cash to buy, to do their own business. But if you don't understand that, and you are doing cash and carry, you are on your own. You remember I said, you must have the working capital for 1 year. You remember that. What it means is that the money you are now making on a daily basis for the next 1 year, sell it to the bank. Tell the bank, the sales I'm making as they are landing at your bank, this is how much I want to be collecting. You negotiate. That will come in to improve the low margin you are getting on the other side. Am I talking to somebody? Am I scaring somebody? I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to open it up. I make you see what you don't see in the outside. That all that you see that is shining, that it is not everything that shines is what? Is gold. That you need to understand that business you are going into from the beginning. So that, my time is up. Okay, I'm told my time is up. So I've put it down there that those are the things you should do. Let me go and summarize by telling you, you can read these ones up. You can do your different means, Isusu, cooperative, family, friends, this and that, venture capitalists, raising money, coming together, doing your job, depending on who you are, can do some of those things. But let me round up by telling you how not to do business. Let me summarize by letting you know that there are certain things you do that are inimical to the success of your business. And you do it unknowingly. You do it with freedom. What I've seen, not only in food business, in any business you want to do, number one, there must be difference between ownership and management. There must be separation between management and ownership. When there's no separation between ownership and management, the business will run into a ditch. Because the business stands the risk of one person dictating how it should go. And any error that person makes cripples the entire business. Let me tell you the essence. When the ownership is different from the management, the control, because somebody will ask me, when you start your business and you have given it to the manager, what is the management in the year? It's not so. You must run your business with the management tool called budget and budgeting control. Budget and budgeting control is the tool you give to management to perform. When they don't perform, you fire them. You bring in another person. You tell management, I'll give you the resources you want, but this is the profit you must give to me. At the end of the year, I want 10 naira. If you are not bringing 10 naira, you are coming back to tell me stories when I've given you all the resources. It means you are not capable. Off, another set, come inside. But when the ownership is part of that management, you can't take such a decision. Because ownership was part of the problem. And ownership understood all that happened, that they couldn't make that 10 naira. So it's going to be sentimental and emotional. Number one, how not to do business. Number two is to say, at any point in time, business. Once your cost is more than your revenue, that is a recipe for what? Disaster. And I tell people, why must you kill yourself there? Got that business you have gone to, where the cost is more than the revenue. You are the one who decided on your own to say that is the business you want to do. You have an alternative of not to have taken your money there. And once you know it's going that way, you better pull your money back and look for a business where the revenue will be more than the cost. And I put it there. I talked about borrowing. You know, some people are so brave, they have heart. What let me say? They can borrow. And they will say, the person that borrows is the person that will pay. let me warn you here. There's always a limit to borrowing. It's not a general rule. There's a limit to borrowing. And the limit to your borrowing is determined by the assets that the company has. And you must always ensure that at any point in time, your asset is more than your borrowing. Not the other way around. How not to do business. And finally, I want to tell you that in the food business, I've told you, cash is king. Cash is king. Cash is king. I've used there, I call it a bidder, but what a bidder is just saying, for cash, you must have a surplus at any point in time. And the surplus you have in cash must be invested to make more money, to make additional money from the bankers to come and augment the low margin that you have seen. If you take the excess cash and consume it, you will see that the low margin you are having will not be able to sustain the business going to future. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very practical session. We're going to take maybe 2 questions. If you have a question, can I see your hand? Any question? No question. Okay, 1 comment. Okay.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Kikelo Mamoroluwa, the Vice Chairman of NIFT Lagos Chapter. I sincerely appreciate your presentation today. And I'm thinking we will further partner with you so that you can come and train nano, micro, small, and medium enterprises on how to actually run a business. Because I discovered the financial aspect is the real problem of most of us who call ourselves entrepreneur. We don't know what we ought to know. Many of us have been doing activities, not business. And that's why most of us, we don't pay ourselves. But that pride of, I have my business, you understand, is only what we are leveraging on. We are not making money from those businesses because we are not doing them the right way. So I think going beyond this, we will need you, because NIFT has a consult. So we would like to partner with you to come and help us train young graduates who are going into food businesses, because that is why we are here. We will all want to build a sustainable food business. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you very much, sir, for that enlightening talk. I just want a clarification. You said there are certain things that should not be done in food business. First thing you said is that ownership must be different from management. Ownership must be separated from management. I want to ask, does that depend on the level of operation, or does it apply also to the nano scale? For instance, the chin-chin woman in her kitchen, one person business or one man business, she's the management, she's the owner, she's everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man, for that questions. And thank you for the compliments, NIFT. I will always be available when you walk through Mr. Razak. Now, when you are starting a business, there must be a business plan. Every business you start has a gestation period. What do I call gestation period? A period that it starts like a baby. He wants to crawl, he wants to walk, and he wants to run. It's a living thing. The business you are starting is a living creature. So when it's born, he has to be fed, to crawl, to walk, and to run. When it's being in infancy, in the mother's womb, the owner becomes everything about that business.
Hello, 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 hello. Hello.
At that level. But I've told you that level is not the level that you are looking for. Because that level can barely give you profit. Can barely. Because when you look at it very well, your fixed cost, the cost of that business, what you hears you to say, me alone being the owner and the management, I won't leave. I will remain here for long. That I need to move forward. And moving forward is employing more people and enlarging the market and enlarging your production scale. You are scaling the business. And as soon as you start scaling the business, you must think of separation quickly. And it is because, like our sister said here, it is because you are the owner and the manager or the management. That's why you are not paying yourself. And you tell me, we are just going to the business. We know they see money. How you go see money? When all you are doing is activity. Apology to those who are here. You go back to your husband. I want to pay rent again. Then I will ask you, for a whole year, you can't pay rent again. I have to go and bring money to come and pay rent. You better stay at home. Oh. Thank you very much. God bless.
The convener just told me there is one important question.
Thank you very much, sir, for the presentation. And for me, I have a question. And as a business that is thinking big but is starting small, and you talked about the working capital, should we include the salary, the salary you'll be earning, into the working capital? Thank you.
Let me quickly walk. There's a trap. There's a trap. The trap there is you want to include your salary in the working capital for 1 year. The first question I ask you, what is the determinant factor of that salary? If you are not careful, you will fall into the trap of imposing your salary on the business, and you kill the business. You want to look at your environment, your status in life. You want to look at the responsibilities you are carrying, and you are saying, now that I'm the owner, I think I need 1 million as salary. And you want to impose on a business that is just starting. As soon as you impose it, the business starts struggling to pay your salary. Rather, it is the business as it's growing that should be determining how much salary you can be taking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Without wasting any more time, and actually because we are far behind schedule, we're going to move on to the next presentation, which will be given by Dr. Sakiruddin Ajani. He is the Deputy Director and Head Packaging Technology Division of FIRO, and he is the Secretary General, Allow Certification Authority, Nigeria. Please put your hands together for him as he gives his presentation. I know we are tired, but can we please do better?
Okay, control room. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. I know by now we're all tired, but I'm going to make sure that we'll not be tired. I'll make it very, like someone is saying, probably I should make you stand up and do some exercise. But probably some of you are fasting. I don't want people to collapse here. So I won't do that. I won't ask you to raise up your leg and whatever. Before I start, I observe we have nano, micro, small, medium here. And my own is more of, I'll be talking more to the multinationals. But I have to scale it down so as to meet our needs too. Because the topic I'm addressing is global in nature. It's unlike NAFDAC. It's unlike MANCAP. That's SON or NAFDAC. Once you have my own, it's global. Anything going with my own certification, take it to anywhere in the world, you are certified. So that's what makes the difference. But not to waste much of our time. That's the outline of my presentation. Go on. I would not like to waste much of our time. I'll be discussing halal, and the title is Halal Certification, an emerging tool for marketability and sustainability of food business. That's the title of the talk. An emerging tool. It's an emerging tool. 20, 30 years ago, there was nothing like NAFDAC. There was nothing like SON. You don't need NAFDAC number. In 5, 10 years to come now, you need extra certification to add more confidence to your product. What I mean by confidence is that it can go anywhere and it will be acceptable by all. So it's an emerging tool. Probably some of us are hearing, probably you've heard that for the first time. Halal, what does it mean? That's what we are going to. Or halal certification, what it means. Well, no problem. It has some spiritual connotation, but has universal application. And the spiritual import is that it took its toll from the Quran. And Allah is talking to us that you must eat what is permissible. Halal means permissible. And what is tayyib, that is something pure. People lay much premium on what you eat. There is a lot of premium on what you eat. That's why you have NAFDAC, you have SON, you have all those regulations. Now, but in this case now, for some of us who use different food tools in processing, you must have the ASIP of this world, hazard analysis critical control points. ASIP can't take care of this because you have what we call halal critical points too. So with halal critical points, there are some tools you need to use. NAFDAC told us some of them, the GMPs of this world, the GLPs of this world, the G whatever of this world. All these are tools. But for nano or micro, you may be finding issues with them. Coincidentally too, I'm into packaging. With packaging, we can do a lot of counterfeiting. But there is halal packaging, a way of counter those counterfeiting processes. So, halal as it is has a lot of application in all we do, either nano, but I'm only trying to scare you, I'm not scaring you that I'm dealing with multinationals. No, nano, small, medium enterprises equally have a role to play because it's a very huge business. We are talking of, by 2023, 7.2 trillion US dollars. And, I want to make them part of this money. So the industry, like you have it there, is a new change in terms of paradigm shift. It crosses geographical, different geographical areas, It cuts across religious boundaries. Where I took my training, I had a friend from Canada who is a Christian, and I asked him, you are a Christian, why are you here for Allah? He said, what my environment needs, a part of requirements for what I'm going to do, why wouldn't I know about it? So we have 3, 4 other people like that who were in the training together in Malaysia some years back. So it crossed across that. We are talking of large population, huge population, which we are going to deal with. Let's move on. So if you look at the industry generally, you have some global halal companies in the world whom you need to trade with them. And it has attracted a lot of conventional multinational companies and organizations, which I've already said earlier on. Move on. So, but when you look at this industry, it's actually just coming up in this country. Some 6, 7 years ago, that's when our last Education Authority came into being. And for depth of knowledge in this space of work, in this part of the world, some of us will be probably you've heard that for the first time, Halal Certification Authority. And it's just 7, 8 years old. In the course of my presentation, you'll see part of what we've been doing. When you look at the industry, it has grown beyond food sector. Not just because we have Halal textile, we have Halal pharmaceuticals, and we are looking at a very large population, which I've said earlier on. So, which makes it very top-notch in Africa generally. On and on. Please go on, because I would not like to waste much of our time. Now, let's stop. So, in Nigeria, as a case study, Nigeria being the largest country in Africa, and we can afford to toy with this population in terms of quality, because like I said, we need to place much premium on what we eat and what we drink, what we wear, and all those areas like that. So when you look at the various sectors of the economy, either you are looking at the pharmaceutical, the farm industry, that's the dairy, you look at the textile, hospital and tourism, food and beverages. There are lots which we have to gain from there. In the area of consumption of livestock, these are various areas which we think we need to look at. In the area of beef production, and on and on. Let's go on. So Nigeria, though, so a latecomer, but we can't toy with the fact that it's Africa's largest economy, and we are talking of well over 100 Muslims and more. That's a big market, a very big market for all your products. I have a client somewhere, I will call it micro, somewhere in Lekki, that she produces chin-chin, like someone said, but her chin-chin is basically for export. So about 150 outlets require that she must make a supply to them. They've accepted her product, but she must have a large certification because of that area. It must be certified. And this is big business for her. So in Nigeria, generally, we are talking of a dynamic sector of the economy, which I think we can go into. The issue of sukuk in this country, too, you must have heard of that. The federal government is using it to do various projects, all come under halal economy. Let's move. So Nigeria today, we have some players, the Lotus Capital. Probably this will be an advice to the organizers. In our subsequent program, we need risk managers for our nano, small, and medium enterprise. I hope Mr. Okay is listening. We need risk managers. We need financial houses. They should be part of this system too, right? They should come, listen, give us various options which they have. You've heard of different models in terms of finances, like you have told the other time. And there are various windows which all these people can equally, we can gain one or two things from them. So outside that is a non-oil export which provide immense opportunities for the growth of the halal business generally. Next slide, please. So next. Now, the very first halal expo was somewhere in 2021, 14 to 16, this is a global program too, which came about sensitizing or advocacy, more of advocacy, or sensitizing us on what halal is all about. And for your information, the chairman of this program is by name Jude Chume, right? He works with Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and it's a very big. So it's a way of bringing it down to people. And probably the next one will be coming up in Lagos some months away at the Landmark Event Center somewhere on Victoria Island. Next, let's go. So the halal market in Nigeria generally, with that expo, it has created some awareness for people, either nano, small, medium. It has created all this so that you can know what you can gain from that. So now, coming down to what we can gain from, which is the issue of halal certification, how your products can be certified. And that's why I said we need to break it down for nano, small, medium, and enterprises so that we will not be scared, such that your product too, if it carries this logo too, which makes an additional confidence on your product, it increases the latitude of sale and your clientele base will be widened, which is, it's just the truth. So generally, when you talk of certification, SON is not here, but we have NAFDAC. For any certification you want to do, you must have some standards to guide you. And those standards is what makes you stand out. I think a lot have been said about that. And the essence of bringing standards is to ease trade. And what is currently going on in the world now is trying to harmonize standards. For halal standards, it also has its own ISO standard. The ISO standard is SMIC, and that's Standard Meteorology Institute for Islamic Countries, OIC. That is like the ISO for halal. And we have other ones, Malaysian standards. That is the hub of halal in the world. But mind you, we now have Nigeria halal food standards too, of which I'm one of the stakeholders that draw this standard. Very soon, it will be available for our consumption. In addition, you have other standards which the halal standard work in tandem with too. The likes of ISO, the likes of ASIP, which I've told us the other time. But ASIP, halal has its own halal critical point because ASIP may not be able to take care of what halal is looking at, and the other ones which you have there. Next slide. Now, if you want to apply for certification of your product, now, since I've told you what you are bound to gain once you have it certified, you can be seeing in some products, you'll be seeing some logo. Those logos are not there just for fun. They've gone through some processes. The good thing is that it's an additional quality to our product. Apart from the fact that it's going to increase your clientele base, people will get to know you more. So you get our application. You can get it online on our website, www.halalcert.com.ng. You can always get that. Once an adequacy audit is done on your document, part of what we do in conjunction with what Nigeria requires to is that your product must have NAFDAC number, it must have MANCAP, all those stuffs, it must have them before we go ahead, because we are in the same committee all together. Once it has been approved, then we come to your site. An on-site audit will be done to do what we call like conformity assessment, right? It's also more of conformity assessment or adequacy, an audit of your process from raw materials down to packaging before certification decision is made. But mind you, for those of you who must have gone through different audits before, an audit report will be submitted, and you're expected to draw up your CAPA plans, right? Once your CAPA plans are submitted under a particular time, if it is okay, it will be submitted to some groups of people to look at it. Then, if it's fine, you have it. But if it is not fine, you can always do some corrective actions. If the corrective actions are fine, then your report or your certificate will be given to you at the end of the day. So anytime we come for your outfit, if you actually apply, you want to have this certification, we'll be having opening meeting. There will be plant inspection. Like I've said, it depends on your flow from raw materials down to your finished good where you have your packaging. Then after that, there's also document review. Document review now depends on what the outfit, but mostly we are in food sector here, like your food safety manual, your environmental air quality, all those equally be asked. If there are issues, those first level documents, second level documents, all will be looked at. Then, which is very important now, sample will be taken. It will be safe. For in this case now, what we look out for in halal when we are talking of purity here now, we all know the case, it must not contain pork and all its derivatives. Science has taken care of that now with some molecular techniques that can be easily done using different isolation of the DNA, and one can equally match it with a primer of person DNA. If that one is taken care of, science made life easier. And some other analysis must be done to the extent that we have some partners outside the country. We do adequacy. We do outside adequacy is more of checking the potent nature, or looking at other laboratories outside what we have done here to check, are they in tandem with the results which we have. But on different occasions, samples are needed to be sent abroad so that we can have our mind at rest. So all these which I've said, leaving your site, post-site activity includes analysis, your report, it will be reviewed by the scholars, and then certificate will be issued to you at the end of the day. And that's what the halal logo looks like, which you are going to have embossed on your products. Now, you can see if you want to, for traceability, there are some logo like this, you just see. You cannot get the name. You can go back, you may not get the name around it. That means you can't trace it. But if you can't, look at, you have a Halal Certification Authority. You see that logo you have in there, it's Arabic for halal. Some people will just put it without putting anything around it. That means that's counterfeit, because you can't trace it actually. So this is what you get, and you get what we call the halal label order, which gives you the ability or the authority to use the, I'll do that very soon now. So please, let's move. After that, all these are some of the challenges which we are facing, and I think with time now, we're getting through them, because at the national level, under Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, there is a national technical committee in place. We call it Halal Technical Committee on Roadmap to Halal Industry in Nigeria. And it comprises all the key players which I've mentioned earlier on, and these will be part of what will be submitted to the Federal Executive Council, because we had validation like last week. Move on, let's move on. So, very big future for the market in this country and beyond too. Like I've told you, once your product is certified halal in Lagos, it's halal in London, unlike NAFDAC number or MANCAP number, basically for Nigeria alone. Next. So all these are what we need to take care of. Let's move. So we have to look at the Halal Certification Authority, brief of part of what we have done. These are some of the objectives which we have to develop and establish halal product standards, and our activities include halal certification and training as well, consultancy, promotion, because once your product is certified halal, there's a global halal data pool which your product goes into. Everywhere it will be known that this product is halal. Some activities which we round it up. Now, before you can do something like this, you need the required backing. So we have a very good retainership with the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, SON, NAFDAC. We are partners. Let's go on. Next slide. So This is the certification or certificate presented to Flour Mills of Nigeria. They were the very first customer which we had. Next slide. Please, let's move faster now. GB Foods, probably you have seen it here. GB Foods is in Lagos, yeah, somewhere in Bagada, somewhere in Songo, and they are in Ghana too. So the activities of halal certification is beyond this country. We do certify outside the country too. A typical example is DGB Foods. NASCO Foods in Jos. Domino Pizza is equally certified. Honeywell Flour Mills, which is now bought over by Flour Mills, probably, we don't know. Flour Mills, this is Northern Nigerian Flour Mills. They produce Dawa Vita and the likes like that. Next one, Rum Oil. Rum Oil is now People Premium Edible Oil Products Limited, somewhere in Ibadan. Golden Pasta and Noodles, somewhere in Igomu, they've been certified too. Nasarawa, these Green Springs, they are into production of spices of different brands. Royal Salt, we have them in Lagos and we have them in Port Harcourt as well. And some of our members have attended different conferences. Golden Pasta Noodles, like you have there too. Please, let's go on. All these are just our customers. And we certify services too. This is an executive lounge of, at the Murtala Mohammed Airport, International Airport, at the departure wing. You know, people come from different parts of the world and they need to make sure that their facility is certified halal. Let's go. These are some of those we have done, both within and without. We equally have customer in somewhere in Sierra Leone. We call them Sierra Tropical. They are into production of, what's this juice called? Basically, they produce, what's it called? Pineapple juice only. And it's B2B. It's not for retail. B2B. Well over 400 and something hectares of pineapple production were in place. So these are the various outfits which has been certified. But the most important thing is that certifying your product halal adds more confidence to your product, makes it more acceptable, and it improves your client base as well. Because definitely we need more markets, and for such certification like this, it adds more confidence to it, and you have more profit at the end of the day. I hope with these few points, I've been able to pass out my message. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We are trying to beat time. Thank you very much. Now we're going to have what we should have done earlier, and that's the presentation by Ajinomoto Foods Nigeria PLC. I would like to invite Madam Francisca Ikediashi. She is the Corporate Communications Manager, and Mr. Isa Hassan Shalagwa, the Assistant General Manager, Sales, Marketing, and Corporate Communications. Please put your hands together for them. If you want to eat here this afternoon, put your hands together for them. If not, no food for you. You can do better. Better clap. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Would like to stand on all the existing protocols. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our chairman. Today we have been talking about food. And that is why we are very delighted that Mr. Razak got us involved in this summit. While my director from La Scopa was speaking, he said food is one of the basic necessities of life. And if you look at me very well, you know that I eat well. Thank you very much. So you are actually what you eat. Do you know? Did you know that you are what you eat? So if you want to eat well and live well, you need to be sure that your food has all the nutrients that is essential for growth, for repairs of your body, for the regulation of our body. You know, and we have the classes of those food. about 6 of them. Where are they? We have them as the carbohydrates that gives us the energy, the proteins that helps to build, and fats. Yes, what do they do? Say that again. Energy, fats. They regulate. Yes, like water. We have said carbohydrates, proteins, thank you, vitamins, minerals. And so it is important. It is not only in the quantity of food, now it's quality of food. Some of us, when we want to eat this eba like this, you think that tomorrow will not come. You will load it. It forms a mountain. That is when you get satisfaction. Some of us can eat 5 wraps of apple. It is that your plate should have more of vegetables. That is what they are telling us. That is one thing I give to our northern brothers. They are usually into vegetables. And you see their plates very rich. So even the UN have one of their function of the 17 sustainability goals as to ensure that there is zero hunger in the land. Yes. So it means that food is very important. Food is very important. So for those of us who are even fasting presently, you see the mortification that your body is getting. Some of us feel very refreshed, very light, because we have not eaten, and we are not eating as much as we do. You breathe easily, your body is free and light. You feel happier. So food in the right proportion is key. So why are we talking about food? Because this is what our specialty is at Ajinomoto Foods. We are interested in ensuring that people eat well so that they will live well. And how do we do this? Through our product offerings. We do this through our product offerings. Our products that helps you to unlock the power of amino acids in your food, ensuring that people live healthy lives, healthy lifestyle, and enjoy deliciousness all along. So if your food is not delicious, there may not be enjoyment. So that is why we have been told that we have our primary targets here, the caterers, the supermarket owners. In fact, everyone here is our target because we all eat. And like my MC said, you are going to still enjoy jollof rice made with Ajinomoto as part of our taste here today. So how many of us are interested to taste? Who is interested to taste? Okay. So all those things that you used to hear about Ajinomoto, those of you who use it and you hide to use it as caterers, today, please be proud of it because it is made from sugar cane. Now, I'm inviting my Oga. He's going to tell you a little more about it and then all the benefits that it gives to our body so that you will help us to tell others. All those people who take propaganda around that when they eat it, you used to get something in their intestine. It's a lie, oh. The people have told us today, maybe it's that dirt that you have carried in your fingernails, or that's your gari that you did not cover, and then rodents passed on it. It's made from sugar cane, yo. If you don't know, know now. All those things they have been telling you, it's not a detergent. It's food that we put it inside. So please, we are open for all your questions. We are ready for them. And we are giving you samples. I eat it in pregnancy and out of pregnancy, and I have the most beautiful children in the world. Yes, I make bold to say it, so that you will know it does not affect anything in the body. So please, listen to more on Ajinomoto from my AGM, Sales Marketing and Corporate Communication, Oga Isa Hassan Shalangwa.
Thank you very much, Madam Francisca. Before I start, I want to stand on the existing protocols to present basic information regarding Ajinomoto. What I'm saying now is Ajinomoto is not something new. We are making this presentation because there is a problem. What is the problem? The problem is a negative perception of Ajinomoto, especially by Nigerians, and which is not true. And we need to correct that perception by giving you actual and correct information regarding this product we call Ajinomoto. Just like when the NAFDAC person that presented, she said there is a problem of perception. Most of the people say NAFDAC are wicked, NAFDAC are greedy, NAFDAC love money. You understand? Which she said some of it is not true, right? So I want to tell you that most of this perception you heard about Ajinomoto that are negative are not true. This is the reality of it. First of all, can I go back to the first slide? Okay, what is Ajinomoto? Second slide. It's a monosodium glutamate, a pure's umami seasoning. 99% is a monosodium glutamate. And the function is to enhance your flavor, and then also it reduce what? Your salt intake, which is very, very important. Even if you are not using Ajinomoto as a taste enhancer, use it to reduce your salt intake. With Ajinomoto, you don't need much salt in your meals, because too much of salt is not what? Is not good for our health. Then let's go to the next slide. Basic taste. Ajinomoto is a taste that is not sweet, that is not sour, that is not bitter, that is not salty. These are 4 basic tastes we have, but it's what we call umami. Umami taste is a taste that is not bitter, that is not salty, that is not sour, and that is not sweet, but it's just umami. Next slide. As you can see, as I said, Ajinomoto helps you to reduce your salt intake. With Ajinomoto, you need just a pinch of salt, because adverse effect of salt, you can see salt lead to so many health issues, most especially like hypertension, especially in Nigerian context. We have a lot of hypertension cases, most as a result of taking too much of salt. So with Ajinomoto, you don't need salt, or you don't need too much salt. Next slide. As you can see, situation about salt intake and high blood pressure. They have positive relationship. High salt intake leads to high blood pressure. This is why for people that have low BP, they tell them to take more of salt. So with Ajinomoto, you don't need to take too much of salt, which it will assist you in making your health better. Next. As you can see, even from our DG of NAFDAC, she said NAFDAC warns Nigerians against excessive salt consumption. So no need to take too much salt, even from NAFDAC. So with Ajinomoto, you don't need too much salt. And you still get that palatability. What is palatability? Palatability is you still get your taste, which you still get the desired taste you need without losing the actual taste you are looking for. This is palatability. You understand? So with Ajinomoto, you still get that taste you want. And it's healthier to use Ajinomoto because you use less of salt. Next slide. Discovery of Ajinomoto. Next slide. As you can see, these are the founders of Ajinomoto. The other one is whom we call in 1909. He discovered monosodium glutamate. And the other person, Sambrosuki, is the person that commercialized it. Next slide. how to produce Ajinomoto. Next slide. You can see these are the process. Ajinomoto is a product that is made through a natural fermentation process. And from what? As Madam Francisca said, from sugarcane. This Ajinomoto, as you are seeing, is made from sugarcane through a natural fermentation process. What are the process? These are the process. You can see it through a natural fermentation process. Next slide. Undeserved refutation. Is Ajinomoto bad for health? No. What is the issue? The issue is negative perception. So many people said so many things about Ajinomoto, unthinkable things, which are not what? Which are not true. They are not facts. Next slide. As you can see, these are global authorities that approve Ajinomoto, not only in Nigeria, worldwide, globally. These are the global authorities, as you can see them. JEFFA, US FDA, Food Standard Australia, New Zealand. Next slide. You know, many global authorities officially guarantee safety of Ajinomoto. So Ajinomoto is safe for consumption. Do not have any fear. It's consumed globally. Next slide. You can see over 100 countries. Over 100 countries are using Ajinomoto, and they keep increasing globally. Next slide. As you can see, our corporate slogan is Eat Well, Live Well. It's actually an ideal that has been scientifically proven all over the world. If you know Ajinomoto, eat well, live well. Any product you see that is associated with Ajinomoto, not only Ajinomoto, we have something like you can see Daily Dawa, which is made from fermented locust beans. And this is Madish. It's a taste enhancer of flavor seasoning for your stew and your jollof rice. And you can see this is Madish Korean chicken for your fried rice and other menus. You understand? So not only Ajinomoto, any of our products you see globally is what? Is very good for consumption. But now I'm talking about Ajinomoto. Eat well, live well. Next slide. Summary. In summary, you know, I said I don't want to take much of your time. Ajinomoto means that prepared deliciousness. When you heard about Ajinomoto, just think about deliciousness at the back of your mind. It's connected to deliciousness. It helps to reduce your salt intake by increasing palatability. Palatability, you still don't lose your taste. MSG is discovered by a Japanese scientist, and Ajinomoto is made from sugarcane. Next slide. Umami from birth as breast milk. From birth, from childhood, we start enjoying umami. We enjoy umami from the breast milk of our mother. There is what we call umami there. Yeah? And that is safe also for consumption and is guaranteed by all global authorities and is used in over 100 countries in the world. But the basic problem is negative perception of Ajinomoto. Next slide. Let's use Ajinomoto and enjoy cooking. But before I go that, let's Madam Francisca conclude. Thank you very much.
This is my Oga. Look at both of us. We eat well because we live well. You see, my colleagues are also outside. If you see us, you know that we eat good food. So he has told us, whenever you think of Ajinomoto, think about what? Deliciousness. Deliciousness. I have two people I like to call up because they already have testimonies to give. I met them here, and we are happy that we are here because one of them is a caterer, and the other one, they don't even know I'm calling them. The other one is this, my Alaja here. Yes. And then, Madam, I didn't get to get her name. Yes, ma'am. Please, I'd like both of you within our time frame to please come forward. While we were talking, I heard her talk. She's got some good knowledge of this brand. Another caterer I sat beside, Delight Catering, she told me that she used Ajinomoto. So we met them here, and we are happy. What we just want to still promote is to let you know that be proud of what you are using. They say, yeah, if my customer know, they will not come again. They have been eating that food, though. Nothing happened to them. We took this product all the way to Nairobi, Kenya. I am my Oga. This restaurant, you know, they know people who have been coming to this restaurant steady. So when we now gave it to them, we say, use it and sample 50 of your customers who come every day, not somebody who just came. So some of them, immediately, all of them that we sampled, if they come, the woman will say, this one is my regular customer. We'll say, give him our Ajinomoto food. Give him our Ajinomoto food. Give him, all of them, you will see the excitement. Do you have a new chef? This food is delicious, this particular one. Who cooked today's own? It's delicious. You have a new chef. Please let us meet the person. Let us know what they used to cook it. Do you get? This is life. We were looking at them, and this was how all of them, all 50 of them were asking her, do you have a new chef? The same question. Because they noticed that the hand, this taste, this one is very better and a lot better. So if it can help you to reduce your salt, why can't you use it? Why? Instead of every other thing, it is mono. One of that sodium. Sodium is one of the components that's used in doing salt. Sodium chloride, right? For the scientists here. I did pure art, but since I'm talking Ajinomoto, I've learned science too. I'm ready for people. All those people used to come and say what they don't know. Today, we are debunking it. We know our problem. That is because we have not been talking. We have come to talk, and we are going to be talking through all of you here today. Anywhere you go, talk Ajinomoto, because now you understand. I'm giving all of you samples, so go and try it at home. But it does not make a bad food to become good, though. You need to first know how to cook. Yes, so. Yes. Yes. They should be the same for poetry to make it sweet. Sweet is different, though. Sweet is the taste of sugar. But our Ajinomoto's taste is umami. Don't forget that name. It's only Japanese word that... And by the way, you know something about Japanese products now? Tell me one thing you know about Japanese products. Japan. What? Durability. Another one. Say again. Quality. That's the word I'm waiting for. We don't use to compromise quality. Anything we have a life factory, we are alive. So all those people that have been saying a lot of things. Now look at it since 1909. How many years? 2023. How many years since 1909? Subtraction. I see a lot of students here. Help me now. Sir? 2023 minus 1909. God bless you. 119 k. 114. She's calling 19. 114. Have you seen somebody that is 114 years old and still bugai like me? It's only Ajinomoto that can do it. We are 114 years old and we are seeing bugai like this. Bugao. We're them. Yes. So I want my sisters to just say a word from the first impression I saw of them. And that's why I'm just calling them. I'm calling them on the spot because they didn't know. Please, ma'am, you just introduce yourself and then tell us your experience of using Ajinomoto. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma. Good afternoon, everybody. I was seated there and I was like, I think they've sold a wrong impression concerning Ajinomoto. I like Ajinomoto. And I'm sure that while growing up, majority of the people that are seated here, that is the number one seasoning that we used to know. But I don't know, maybe it's competitors or something. I don't know how it got into our psyche, psychologically we are affected. And everyone immediately they hear, they say, hey, they are using the salt to wash clothes. I don't know. But sincerely, let's be sincere. Do you like the taste then? It was good. Very good. And that is why I think they need to do more of the marketing, the way, the way you're doing it, keep pushing it and letting the people know that it's just a perception of what you were told. Not even like you experienced what you were told. It's a good brand. I love it. And I think I'll keep. Anyway, if you can make me your brand ambassador, I have my Facebook people here. They know what I can do. So if we can, lock in, I'm ready to push it for you. Like I told her, we have over 200 caterers in Alimosho that were in the same group. And if we can have, and we have AGM meetings, we have different meetings, if we can push it, then it's good. Imagine if we have Ajinomoto as a brand name, household name, what will happen? The taste is nice, good, and of course, superb. So I'm giving it up to, let's put our hands together for them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was the excitement I saw while she didn't even know. I said, I will call this woman today. You can see, I just met her here. Okay, Alaja, please. While we were talking, she seemed to also have an idea of Ajinomoto. She said, yes, it's made from sugarcane through fermentation. Tell us what you also know. So that it's not as if they are paying Francisca from Ajinomoto. That's why she's talking. We didn't pay this one. We don't know them. They are also consumers like you and I. So they can also give a testimony that will help our brand. Madam, we appreciate that comment, and we are really going to get back to you, seriously. Yes, Alaja.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I'm Faiza Jumoke Abdulhamid. So, based on my research on MSG, which is a product of Ajinomoto, I've done several research on it, and I've written articles on it too. I discovered that the controversies on MSG has been from the year 1968. Like, it has got its bad reputation from there, when the Chinese restaurant happened, blah, 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 during that time. So people have got the bad perspective about it, that Ajinomoto is bad, and they ended up running into spice that are not hygienically produced. People will just buy natural spice without knowing how they are produced, whether they are produced in an healthy way, or maybe even some spice does not have NAFDAC number or production date and expiring date. And when you buy them, after a month, they become clumps and caked together. So, using Ajinomoto, I don't think anything is bad, but because most of the articles I've written, they are all inconclusive. So the research of it causing cancer, being carcinogenic is not true from the research I made. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm just excited because I picked them by impulse and they have not disappointed. She's researched on it. All those things that they are telling you, or even on science and research, it is not conclusive. It is not true. We have also come up with, it's been accepted as, it's been considered generally acceptable for, safe for consumption. So it's got a grasp, yes. So it's very important that we know these things. There are scientists here, there are also consumers here, there are regulators here, and that's why we are taking our time so that even our regulators, we know we've got a NAFDAC number. We have NAFDAC, and we also have is it MANCAP now? Yes, which is a seal. Even when the other lecturer was talking about halal, there was a time we also got the certification. Yes, sir. Because we have it. Because a lot of people were saying that there's pig meat, there's what? Something that is made from sugar cane? So please, help us to spread the message. Enjoy Ajinomoto in your meals, and you will not regret it, we can assure you. I want you to live better, healthier, more delicious. You have a child that does not like eating. Try it. And your child will ask for a second plate. You two will be dazed. What is happening today? It's not just that, it's mouth. Oh. If we give you one plate of jollof rice today, you must ask for another one. I can assure you. So please continue to enjoy deliciousness from Ajinomoto. Yes, also one of my guys here, Mr. Bala. Mohammed, yes, that is my manager for communication too. Thank you. Thank you so much. You have been a wonderful audience. Thank you, my MC. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before we take the last presentation, we're going to have a little exercise. We're going to move our bodies. You have been sitting down since morning. So I'm going to invite Mrs. Sumbo Olagoke to take us through a few exercises before we round off for today. Please, let's put our hands together for her. When it comes to healthy living, food and exercise, they go hand in hand.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, the distinguished men on the high tables. We've been sitting down for long. For how many hours now? For how many hours now? Well over 4 hours. And we know that sitting down for a long time is detrimental to our health. Like the MC has said, we have to have a balanced lifestyle. You eat good food, do exercise. But like the former speaker said, Dr. Sakiridi said that he didn't want to call exercise because of those that are fasting. But I want to assure you that the one that we are doing is not a rigorous one, but to stretch our bodies. When you are sitting down, even at our place of work, you have to, after sitting down for like 2 hours, you stand up to stretch your body so that it will help in circulation of the blood in our system. And also it's good for our mental health so that you'll be active at work. We've learned a lot during this summit, and to keep our spirit, soul, and body together, we have to be in a good state of mind. So we have a video to guide us in the exercise, in stretching. It's not exercise, stretching our body so we can stand up. Please, let's stand up. It's not a rigorous one for those that are fasting, but to stretch our body, to keep our spirit, soul, and body together so that we can still assimilate more on what we are here to learn. So can we have the video hub for the exercise? Can we have the video hub so that it will guide us in stretching our bodies? But before that one is put up, can we have this song? My head, my shoulder, my knees, my toes, my head, my shoulder, my knees, my toes, my head, my shoulder, my knees, my toes, they all belong to Jesus. Is it to Jesus? They all belongs to you. It's the way you keep your body that you will enjoy it. Jesus has given you your body. God has given you your body. It's the way you maintain it that you will enjoy it. So let's enjoy this body now by stretching it. They belong. That's the truth word. It belongs to you. God has given you, so you have to maintain it. So let's come up with. Can we have it now so that? Is it okay? Let's start the exercise before that one comes up. Can we twist? Okay, let me drop this. Can we do like this? Okay. So that's okay. Can we do like this? A bit to the back. Tilt to the back a bit. That's come up. Okay. So can we have the volume? Maybe we can forward it a bit so that can go to the stretching part. Okay, we are here. Hi. So, please, let's do it. That helps the flexibility of the shoulder. You know, we've been sitting down, looking straight, raising our head up since. So it will help you to stretch your shoulder, to help the joints. Stretching helps flexibility of the muscle and free flowing, free movement of the, okay, to the front. That means you are balancing it. First to the back and to the front. Okay? Let's do it. For those sitting down, are you fasting? Is this vigorous? It's simple stretching, like I mentioned earlier. It's stretching, not exercise. If it's exercise, do you want us to jog? So move to the right. So this helps to your twist. Man, this is simple. Yes, thumbs up for you. Okay. This will help with your waist. You'll be sitting down for a while, so it will stretch your waist. Time's up. Good job. Yeah. Also, this helps the waist as well. Stretch your back. Is it not simple? Second leg. Good job.
Thank you so much for joining.
Well done, good job.
Really good. I hope you feel relaxed.
Let me give you the last one, free of charge. Last one for free of charge. You can have your seat. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I believe that was refreshing. We're going to take the last presentation for the day. People are clapping. It's on the impact of the Nigerian Council of Food Science and Technology as a professional regulatory counsel. And to give that presentation is Dr. Ikegu Onyekachi John, the head, Education and Training, Nigerian Council of Food Science and Technology, Abuja. Please, let's put our hands together for him. Do well to note your questions so that after his presentation, he can answer.
Good afternoon, all. My Oga, Mr. Razak, one-time National Public Secretary, Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology. Like the MC said, I'm Dr. Ikegu Onyekachi John of NICFOS. Before I proceed, I want to find out, do I have NIFstars here, please? Beautiful. I learned we have students also, NAFs. That's good. So I'm going to make this a different presentation all through, but we're still making reference to that because it's something that will affect us and give us kind of prestige at the end of the day. Because the profession of food science and tech, before now, had been looked down on, but after today, you go home and start smiling, and people will wish they had actually been part of us before now. Like the topic said, impact of the Nigerian Council of Food Science and Technology, NICFOS, as a professional regulatory council. Some might want to know or ask, what is new? NAFDAC has been there, this, that. Yes, NAFDAC has been there, but NAFDAC goes purely for prepackaged food. But NICFOS is actually aiming, targeting, and more interested in professionals, those that read food science and technology. Now, we know the cases we always face in Nigeria, foodborne disease, this, that. And also, we spend so much on food. As far as Nigerians are concerned, we love food. Like Jinamoto said, we spend close to 73% of our money purely on food. That's statistics. I also know the danger associated with this food we eat. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to know. Everybody is into the business of food. But after now, we'll come to realize that business of food is not for everybody at all. Now, it took NIFST 43 good years to actualize this. When my professional mother was there, in fact, I was enrolled into NIFST when she was first vice president to late Professor Ozo. The charter of NIFCOS came at Oka 2019 when Wole Toyin was actually the president. Like NIFCOS, the Establishment Act was signed in 2019 by President Muhammadu Buhari, and it was gazetted on the 13th of January 2021, but the council took effect May 20th, 2020. Presently, we are still building administrative structures of that council. Now, let's leave this story here and bring it down a little back home. Before now, I was in the institution before coming here. I was a lecturer before joining the council on leave of absence. When you tell people you're reading food science, they make mockery of you. They laugh at you. Some will call you kitchen, whatever. People make mockery. At times, you're not even proud of calling yourself a food science and technology student because you don't have somebody to speak for you. Now, you go to the industries, they will tell you, like in the ministry, they tag them as scientific officers. They lump you with someone that read biology, lump you with someone that read agric. All of us are lumped together. In FIRO, NAFDAC, in FIRO, they call them research officers. You don't have a stake. You don't have an umbrella. But NIFCOS, what is it that we are interested in. We are more interested in giving you prestige, in giving you a name, in making you feel belonged in the society. Medical students, those that read medicine, lawyers, are what they are today because they have strong regulatory body that speak for them. Now you have one. So you can always go out and brag. Also, the council is now saying, we want to check what our people are being paid out there. Remuneration is very important to us. Your welfare is critical to us because we want to know what you're getting. A 5-year course is not a 5-day course. And somebody that read biology cannot be struggling space with you at all. And somebody that read microbiology cannot take your place at all. In local government offices, that's what they call local food scientific officers position in local government. But please go there, you will not find a single food scientist occupying that very position. Is that is a microbiologist, a chemist, one thing or the other. And it's not making any sense at all. But it's not just fun all to get through. For you to enjoy some of these things, that means you have to be registered. And for you to be registered, you have to go through our parent body, which is Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology. NICFOS has no business with anybody. NIFS is the clearinghouse. Once you register with NIFS forwards your registration details to the Abuja office. NICFOS will now register you as a professional member. Now, that is the only time you can attach to, after your name, CSFN, Certified Food Scientist of Nigeria. But, yes, you can applaud yourself, please. Because we are coming up. Our students will start having their place. Now, it's not just enough for you to be registered. You need to be licensed for you to practice. You need a license to practice. It's not just for those of them in the food industry. Academians will also be licensed because you cannot teach somebody when you don't have what it takes. That means you have to be registered and licensed also. So it's not just somebody in the industry. And that license is always get is annual practice license to renewed every year. But there's a clause. It's not like those of the Pharmaceutical Council. What the council has done is that if you're not practicing, if you don't have business of touching food, you don't need to go for your license, but you get registered. It's only the moment you want to touch food, you want to practice, that you go for license. Please, are we communicating? So that's just on that aspect. Also, we'll need to accredit the universities in collaboration with NUC and MBTE. Because we know, like the NAFDAC lady said, the curriculum used for me, I left university 2000. I finished my PhD 2012. And I know what I was given never prepared me to get to be self-reliant at all. And the same curriculum we're using till date. So which means the council wants to start reviewing curriculum to harmonize it with among all the universities in Nigeria. In fact, as soon as there will be summit of HODs of food science and technology championed by NIFS. It's actually the COVID that delayed that and the ASU strike that delayed that because we want to have a summit of all the heads of food science and technology, be it university, polytechnic, so that we can be able to have a one common curriculum that will actually, not when somebody is doing one in this university, some other person is doing a different thing in the other university. So we want to harmonize that. So we will be going for accreditation in line with NUC guideline to make sure that our universities have what it takes, our polytechnics have what it takes for them to produce the best of the best among the profession. Are we relating, please? Also, we need to collaborate with a lot of persons. Now, we are working in line with those of them, I've talked about the academia, the NAFDAC, that actually are one of our major stakeholders. Now, which means, what is NAFDAC going to do for us? When they go out there in the industry, they will make sure that the person heading the production and the quality aspect, department is headed by a certified food scientist. If your company hasn't employed a certified food scientist, please, the best thing you do for yourself is to do that now. Because the moment we go out there to start implementing policies, definitely we don't seal companies, but we withdraw the license. And when your license is withdrawn, it's as good as your company is sealed. Are we relating, please? Now, we work with local government. We collaborate with local government also. For local government, we know that the interest is more on hygiene. But we are going beyond hygiene. We'll talk about safety. I overheard when they were talking about people selling things around area, this nano, mono, whatever. Now, what we are looking at in the council is high impact distribution factor. You might be a one-man business, another business, but your coverage is what? Is high. That doesn't make you a one-man business anymore. Because we're looking at distribution factor. You know that a medical doctor kills one person at a time. But as a food professional, one single mistake, you're taking millions out of the equation. And we need to be mindful of what we're actually doing. So in local government, we're making sure that the person who is heading that unit, food scientific food officer, whatever, is a certified food scientist. What is the essence? We need somebody to be answerable to one or two questions. We need somebody to be accountable. When something goes wrong, the lead food scientist is the person who do what? Who call upon to answer the question. It's no longer, I don't know, is anybody's business? No. But that person knows that he or she might lose his or her license if anything goes wrong. So even if you have like 20 professionals there, somebody, based on the company or your discretion, will be the lead food scientist. And that lead food scientist is the person that the council knows. Don't care about what happens in the company, the other person. That is the interest. So we will start encouraging companies to have more certified food scientists. If A is out of the equation, B can easily step in to take up the place. Now, for the Ministry of Health, yes, we'll collaborate with them on the ground that they need to have certified food scientists in all the places would need to be. Presently, the council recruited new staffs, and they are called Food Science and Technology Officers. Now, maybe in no distant time, all those food scientists that littered everywhere, called different names, dehumanized and all whatnot, will be gathered under one umbrella called Food Science and Technology Officers. For those of them with BSc, they have Food Science and Technologist officers. For those of us with HND. So you have your place, and you are going to protect your interests. So from now henceforth, you should be proud enough to tell somebody, I read or I am studying food science and technology. Now, within that same axis, you have what we call variants and related courses. Now, we'll talk about variants. Food science is one. Food science and technology is one. Food technology is another one. Food science and brewery tech is another one. Food microbiology and biotechnology is another one. But we talk about the other ones. The red microbiology doesn't make you a food scientist. That you read industrial microbiology doesn't make you a food scientist. What we're saying, for you in NIFT, when you go to NIFT, if you read biochemistry, you're not a food scientist. You'll be registered as a licentiate, which means you need to upgrade. And the condition for you to upgrade to be given license to practice means that you have to go run PGD, postgraduate diploma in food science and technology. So with all I'm saying now, you find out that you'll be given a place that you rightly deserved. And by the time we go into operation fully, those of them that occupied your spaces will surely make way, because the Nigerian Council of Food Science and Technology is backed by law. I don't need to come tell somebody this space. The law is there to spell those things out for you. Please, I will communicating. I'm now making more reference to my students who all this while will hide because somebody will call you home economics, your cooking, your kitchen department, somebody will call you one stupid name, one crazy name. Those names will start to change. So whether you measured in food chemistry, I actually measured in food engineering. So whether you measured in food chemistry, food microbiology, food engineering, food processing, you are in the right place. I will communicate in place. I will communicate in. So please do well to register with Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology. I'm a chapter chairman, East Central chapter. So I know what it means for you to be there. And had their election not long ago. Fred Bobola has given way to the DD of NAFDAC. Being a council member, I understand a lot that happened there. And I know you cannot come to NICFOS to register without going through NIFS. For the students, the NAFS is there. Join NAFS and know what is happening so that you don't get to start writing professional exams when you lose out. On the last note, the council, when we go full operational, have what we call finishing school. That finishing school is when people that studied food science overseas, when those of them, those Lebanese, Chinese, Indians, will import one technician who doesn't know anything and come and head you. If that technician is going to stay 3 months, it has to go through NIFS and go through our finishing school. And he or she has to be under the lead food science and technology officer. That is the law, and that is what it is. So you don't go bring somebody, a technician who doesn't know anything at all, to come here, give him a security, give him this, give him that, and he can't offer anything to you at all because you end up being the one doing that same job for that very person. So that finishing school that you studied in UK, studied in US, this is Nigeria we're talking here. And by the time you return back, we want to bring your head down that the person you're dealing with here is better than you because we're talking about local content. That's the Presidential Order 5, which talks about we have to infuse local content into everything we do now. So that finishing school is we'll have a pilot plan, everything, just like school. So, and we'll be running programs also, like food safety certification programs for people that are deficient or those of them that want to step up what they want to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, thanks so much for listening, and I appreciate you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, a question. Any other question for him? Okay, just one.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I can say you have spoken so well. My name is Kikelo Mamorolua once again, and I'm the Vice Chairman for NIFS Lagos Chapter. My question is this. What is NICFOS doing about food science and tech graduates that are made to observe the compulsory 1-year NYSC in schools? I think we should begin to look, I'm a food scientist, of course. We should begin to look into a situation whereby our graduates serve in food industries. It's going to be like an internship. Some years back, Lagos chapter, we discussed the issue of internship and all that. NAFDAC was opening up, but somehow the discussion closed down. I think NICFOS should look into it. I have a daughter who is an accountant, and for 1 year of her NYSC, she's serving in an audit company, which relates to what she's doing. She has gained so much experience because all the experience in school, you cannot put it together, and just assume the graduate knows all. Please, I want this to be a take back to our dear registrar. Food science and tech graduates should be allowed to serve in food industries. So please, what has NICFOS thought about this? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I would allow him respond.
On that, we're working on it. Like the VP2, Dr. IC Alak, is actually the one heading the team presently to liaise with NUC and relevant bodies, because we want to insist that our students should be placed during service year where they are meant to be, not to be subjected to teaching nursery school or doing one crazy thing or the other. That is in place. Currently, like in Southwest chapter, they had induction, in-house induction, which is also ongoing, and that memo is still with the NAIPS now, because the idea is that after spending 5 years, you go for service, that's 6 years, you come back. We want to take away that 1 year service to induct the student, because when you're done with your service, you now come to apply to be inducted as a professional member, which gives you about 7-8 years. So we want to reduce that. Let students start having on-campus induction, where Nick Force will now administer oaths. Now, they will be admitted into, so presently what we're doing is more or less a acid test experiment, where they are giving a dummy certificate. But want to make sure that, okay, fine, if taking all this bill is still with the council, in the next council meeting around June, we'll still look into that. But of bringing this and, okay, do on-campus induction and take away that 1 year extra that student has to go through, which is not what we want. So on the first one, yes, we're working towards that. That's why I say harmonizing all this is not going to be a day thing. You have to liaise with NYC, liaise with relevant authorities to make sure those things are actually in place. So we're actually working to protect the interests of our professionals. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any other question? No. So we move to the next item, which is award presentation. At this point, I would like to recognize the Chief Executive Director of the most distinguished training organization in Nigeria, Grashi Global Company, Sir Engineer Gregory Ashibogu, the Ààrẹ of Idioro Elewa, Ologweru Ibadan, Oyo State. Please let's put our hands together for him. He's ably represented by Mr. Opeyemi Akinola. Please let's put our hands together for him. Okay. I would like to humbly invite Dr. Mrs. Adetokunbo Oshibanjo to help with the award presentations. Please let's clap for her as she comes forward. She's the Deputy Director at FIRO. This award goes to Dr. Monica. I would like to invite our representative to come forward and receive the award. Please let's put our hands together for her as she comes forward.
This award is presented to you today in appreciation of your efforts concerning this summit. Thank you very much.
To the organizers of this food summit, I say a very big thank you, and I appreciate, and I will send a message across to her. Actually, today is my madam's birthday.
She squeezed out her time to come here. And at the moment, we are celebrating in the office. But we had to wait to collect this award for her. Thank you.
Let your team come and join.
We wish her a happy birthday. The next award goes to Dr. Shakiruddin Ajani.
This award is presented by the Grashi Global Foundation to Dr. Sakiruddin Ajani. Thank you for coming and thank you for your efforts. Thank you. Okay.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a nice one. We'll make sure we keep on partnering with the Business of Food Summit by our convener today. And I wish you better days ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The next one goes to Mrs. Veronica Eze. Oh, okay. Is represented by Dr. Ezeogu. Okay.
This award, donated by Grashi Global Company, is presented to you today for your efforts concerning this first Food Business Summit. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Nigerian Council of Food Science and Technology, Nick Foos, very well appreciate this very honor. My principal will still extend her gratitude to the organizers of this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Food Science and Technology. This next award is presented to our anchor person of today, the head of Department, Food Science and Technology of the Mountaintop University, in the person of Dr. Mrs. Omolola Omoshebi. We appreciate your efforts. Thank you very much.
Okay, so what do I say? Thank you. I was not expecting that. Thank you very much. I appreciate and grateful for the opportunity to serve too. Okay, so we have one more here to the convener of this event. Please let's put our hands together for him. A rousing applause for Mr. Razak Oke.
To the convener of the first Food Business Summit in Nigeria, we present this award to Mr. Razak Oke. All your efforts, thank you very much for promoting food business in Nigeria.
Well, I'm very happy that at least we call you and you are here. Because several people have many things to do, and you sacrifice your time to come here. So it would have been possible if you are not here. You give us the impetus to be able to organize this, and we will not rest on our hairs until we achieve what we set out to achieve from this the Business of Food Summit. Thanks so much. For the Grassy Global Foundation that presented this one, I want to say a very big thank you, and we pray more success for your foundation.
As we wrap up the program for today, I would like to invite the convener of this summit, Mr. Razak Oker, to give the vote of thanks.
On behalf of the Advisory Board and Planning Committee members for the maiden edition of the Business of Food Summit, I want to appreciate the effort and support of individuals and organizations that came through for us. And to all invited guests, speakers, and participants, we appreciate you for honoring our invitation, despite all the teething challenges that came our way. Now, I want to especially appreciate Ajinomoto Foods Nigeria Limited. It would not have been possible. We approached many organizations, but for one excuse or the other, they said they couldn't be here this year. Some were requesting, what have you done before? Can we see the video clips? But we want to appreciate the likes of Ajinomoto Foods Nigeria Limited that stick out their neck and they believe in us. And that is the effort of what we are seeing. We want to appreciate you. And I want to appreciate all the members, the planning committee members. Many, they sacrifice their time for them to be here. Especially Madam that is here. This is the first time I will be meeting her. It's good to be good. She never expected I'm going to say this. And I don't want to mention the amount she sent to her. She said, Mr. Razak, I want to appreciate what we are doing. We want to come and exhibit, but we are having challenges with this and that. I said, don't worry, come around. Don't go through any shortcut. You will see those people you need to. And when she sent that money to my account, in fact, you know, you don't see people you want to portray. I want to portray where I am because of the amount I say. I want to appreciate you, madam. And your business will continue to grow from glory to glory. Especially, I want to thank my friend. He came all the way from Abuja. And he has been here. In fact, all the keke, they tried to even collect more than enough money for him. From here to there, I know how much they were charging him. And they know this man is coming from Abuja. He can sacrifice a lot. And to all the invited speakers, it's a pity the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture is not here because he sent a message that he's on his way to Ibadan to attend to another important assignment that will meet us. But we want to appreciate the director from NAFDA that came all the way, and today is her birthday. You can see, and she sacrificed her to be here, and they were having party for. Dr. Ajani, too, I want to appreciate you. She wanted to be the first speaker so that she can go and perform all other assignments. I said, you have to stay behind. I want to appreciate you. I have a lot of friends, too numerous. You see the people from Safety Commission that are here. I want to appreciate you. Lascopa people, I want to appreciate you. In fact, my blood brother, for the first time, I've been talking about food. They said, what is in this food? This man has been talking about. He's the only one that believes in my cause. But thank God that he's here today. Mr. Olalikon, okay, can you start off for recognition? People from NIFT, Nigeria Institute for Food Science and Technology, they are my first family. They are my first family. I never regret any single moment that I spent with Nigeria Institute for Food Science and Technology. They have been the brain behind everything that I'm doing. People say you sacrifice a lot, but I can see them here. They are here. Meeting the likes of Dr. Omolulu, Omolala, Omoshebi, it is true NIFT. Meeting the trainer, the woman that took us through, it is true NIFT. Most of the people I met here, it is true NIFT. So If you want to move ahead in life, come and join Nigerian Institute for Food Science and Technology. Before you can get to Nigerian Council for Food Science and Technology, you have to pass through Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology. And you can see the vice chairman of the Lagos chapter, Mrs. Kekelo Amorelua, that is standing here. Mr. Amorelua, I want to appreciate you. Anywhere we are going, she's always up and down. From one debate or the other, God will continue to strengthen you. For some of you that travel both far and near to be here, I want to appreciate you. I pray for a journey mercy back to your various homes. And when we call on you next year that we want to have this program, please don't doubt our capability that have you done before. Thanks so much. I want to appreciate you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. It can only get better. We are going to take few photographs, but before then, a few announcements. Courtesy of Ajinomoto, there is provision for refreshments. So after the group photograph session, we're going to file outside the hall to get your pack. Also, please visit the exhibition stands outside after this program. So I would like us to gather for the photographs. Thank you very much for coming once again. Please, can we come forward for the photographs?